I am stitching through this canvas with the yarns that I dyed and creating these textures and lines to fill in this space that kind of creates like a play of light and movement. So these are my Rave paintings, and they're a play of color and light and texture. And I start with these like kind of dark backgrounds and bring out the light, and then dye yarns and sew through it. And then I have collage shapes that I've put on, and when I pinned them up, I ended up liking the pin, so I made little pins out of paper clay, and then they're painted with gouache, and then they act as kind of like accents and punctuation and little plays of light and color throughout the works. So I am placing some of these shapes that are on, they're gouache with linen, and testing, like pinning them up to see how I like them on here and where I want them. And then if I do like them, I end up gluing them on with paint and sometimes stitching around, or they end up getting pinned as well. But this gives like more freedom with figuring out the placement, and it adds an element because it is oil paint on the backgrounds, and this makes it possible to have like the watercolor element, which adds more depth. So these are little pins that I made out of paper clay, and then when they dry I paint them with gouache, and they're stored on these pin cushions, and then they kind of get placed around either to hold the collage shapes or just as like little bursts of color and texture throughout the pieces. So